You can't stop me loving myself. Check, 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 check.
Hey guys.
Oh.
I'm Youngstown. What's up? What's Shell Lulu baby? Shell Luluby.
Hope
Hope
he
you're
is
feeling
feeling
better.
better. Seth slept in.
Yeah.
He's feeling better.
It's kind of, you wake up sometimes, you're like, I don't know, my body's weird.
When I wake up in the morning.
So that was it. All right.
We ready?
Let's give Facebook a minute to catch up. So,
In the morning.
hello, check. Yeah, that's good.
It's gonna be okay. Finish that line. Everything
I
is
don't know
fine.
that song.
Okay, we ready to start?
I believe so.
Oh, it's Anatomy of Marriage radio.
That's right. AOM
Dang it!
Radio.
Hold on, I have to get. I'm not ready
recording.
to start.
Why
I
don't you
know.
start
It's
recording?
fine. No.
Okay.
Hold it.
What's up, Lily? All right, hold on.
1 second.
This is kind of a behind the scenes because we are going back to the AOM Radio, well, the Everyday Podcast, and we're calling it AOM Radio now, which is a catchy name that I think is awesome. So, what's up, Lily?
I
How
just
you
needed
doing?
my notes.
And, yeah, just a little behind the scenes stuff. So, all right, we'll get started in 2
Okay.
seconds. Ready?
Okay,
Becky?
it's slightly different than normal, and I apologize. Okay,
All right,
are you ready?
I'm going to go with the flow.
Hello and welcome to Anatomy of Marriage Radio. Real help for real couples. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
What's up, my friends? My name is Seth Studley. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and it's good to have you here on AOM Radio. What's up?
We go live every day on Instagram and Facebook, and we talk about the things that we want you to learn and we want to learn ourselves. And we are excited about this new venture and what it's going to be. It's every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Get over it. If you don't like it in your feed, cancel yourself.
Yeah, get over it.
Don't complain
And-
to me about it.
And it's AOM Radio because we are taking your calls, but we are taking your calls on Instagram Live. So if you have a question and you want to be actually in the show, request to be in the video on Instagram Live, and we
Yep.
will accept it. And we want to take real questions from real couples. What are you going through? And we'll talk about it. For real.
And from now till May 5th, we are going to give you a free workbook if you do a live call with us. We'll give you a little
That's right.
code.
A
So
little
if you
incentive there.
Yep. So if you hop over to Instagram Live, you can request to join our call, and we'll answer your question. If you do something funky, I'll put you on blast. Just fair warning.
And no
okay?
free workbook.
Yeah, no free workbook if you do something funky. But anyway, today we're starting with ownership, and we're titling today's radio episode, It Starts With You. And do you have any thoughts just right off the bat as we dive into that?
Okay, so this is a little tweaky here, but are we doing our 4 things?
Yeah, I forgot.
All right.
Dude,
So-
I didn't write it on my chart.
That's all right.
Okay,
Every
let's
day
do
I'll-
our 4 things.
Every day, and Melanie needs a reminder of this, on AOM Radio, we do 4 things. We do a prayer, we do a gratitude, we do an intention, and
We do our app questions.
app questions. So, all right, I'm going to pray. Thank you, God, for your blessings. Thank you for this sun that we're having today in Seattle. I really appreciate it, and I pray that you be with our family, also be with our listeners today. I pray this is helpful, and people have a good weekend. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, my thankfulness, my gratitude to you is being adaptive and adaptful and saying, being cool with me, like not feeling well last night and saying, hey, I'm going to bed, and you put all the kids to bed and did all the stuff, and you let me sleep in today. I like that we're in a place like that. It was just intuit stuff, so
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That is a real gratitude. Thank you.
You're welcome. My gratitude towards you is yesterday. It was so sweet. Oh, come on. He turned the... How many times?
Go ahead.
I'm going to calculate it.
Gratitude.
So yesterday it was so sweet because our daughter wanted to play Duplos with you. It's like
Right.
her favorite thing ever to play Duplo blocks with Daddy. So he set a timer in his phone and he said, okay, at 4 o'clock or whatever time I get home, I will play Duplos with you. And the two of you like put a Duplo picnic up in the
Right.
yard and sat there, and it was just the sweetest thing to see, and it just is so joyful and brings me joy. So thank you for
Good.
being such a good dad, especially to her in that way.
You're welcome.
Very, very cute.
It's very important.
It is very important.
Okay.
So,
Intention.
Yeah, intentions.
Do really good on all the stuff. Work, podcast, lives, all these things that we're doing, do a good job on them and do a good job with you. So I can serve you. You've said this before, by me bringing my A game on things like this, and that makes you feel prepared. It makes you feel like I'm in it and not just like, oh, time to record. So I'm ready.
Okay. My intention, as always, lately, because
Yeah.
this is a request you've made, is to touch you more, be more physically affectionate, and use your love language as a way to connect with you. And I'm just trying to think of ways that I can challenge myself to do that as well. I've been listening to a lot of Andy Frisella.
Yeah.
And so now I feel like kicking my own butt.
You're getting
And I'm
it. You're
excited
getting
about it.
into my mind.
I'll surpass you in your own mind. Which is funny. It's funny that I said that.
Hey, Amanda.
So anyway, I'm really excited about that. Those are my intentions for our relationship, and today is to get a bunch of stuff done. We're going live at 3 for New Community Church, our neighbor church over there, the one that we go to do our Marriage and Family Fridays, which I'm super stoked about. We're going to talk about communication there, so you can catch us there too.
That's right. So, the topic of today, the reason why we're doing this today, right? And it's midday. We usually do this way in the morning before work, but I'm taking a quick break and doing it so. It starts with you. Oh, what does that mean? Newsflash. Neither one of us knew that, right?
Oh yeah, no.
In our tenuous 7 years of marriage.
Before, the
The first 7 years of marriage. Been married 15 years. We thought that it didn't start with you. We thought the blame game was the game to play. We thought passing on the buck to our spouse and other people was what you should do, right?
Yeah.
So it starts with you, and you have been reading awesome books like Extreme Ownership, Discipline Equals Freedom, all these things. I see you got a Rachel Hollis quote there. So talk to me about where your growth is around that.
Well, like you were saying, in the beginning of our marriage and when we were dating and all of that stuff, we definitely thought the key to our personal happiness was in the other person. So I thought, well, if he calls me more, if he buys me better things, if I get a nice diamond when we're engaged, I'll be happy then. And those are all wrong. It's all very, very wrong.
And that's what I thought too. So I was buying into that and perpetuating both of our, very immature thoughts around that, right?
Yeah, and so that as we've been through our whole process of our marriage, healing from all the things we've healed through, messing up a bunch of stuff, fixing a bunch of stuff, it's coming to me now as I read these different books, like it really does just start with yourself. And it's mirrored and I guess parallel process with our children. Because our kids want to blame us for their happiness, or they want to be like, well, if I just had another game on my Switch, then I'd be happy. And I want to right across. No, happiness starts with you. It starts inside of you. It starts with your mindset. What do you think? What you feel? What you believe? And so I just listened to the Andy Frisella episode. You can check him out, but not if you dislike cussing. Do not check him out. The dude cusses like 10 sailors in one.
But it's so appropriate.
It's funny.
Just like the David Goggins book I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, you listen to that dude, you're going to run 800 miles after that.
But he talked about in this recent episode that I listened to, it's an old episode, but he said winners win and losers lose. And it's all about what you think and what you say about yourself, the excuses that you tell yourself, the reasons that you give, air quote reasons. Well, I can't because.
So here's a favorite idea, quote. Maybe it's not a quote, but if we ever feel the need to justify something, then usually that is a sign that you need to rethink your thinking, right? And for me, I'll be straight up. It looks like, oh, well, I worked hard today. I deserve,
17 scones.
17 scones and a fifth beer, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Oh, well, it's just this one time. It's fine. Or like, let the kids stay up until, whatever.
Or he or she doesn't know about it. It'll be fine. Or it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm pissed because of X, Y, Z, and she should have known. So when we begin to justify our feelings, that is when we can get into real dangerous kind of territory. And then I learned this it starts with you. Yeah, exactly. It does start with you. And so, just pay attention to the idea when we begin to justify things. Oh, the bill's late, but, it's...
Is that the justify dance?
Yeah.
We justify things. And I think that was the mindset that I had forever, was it's someone else's fault if I'm not happy. And something that just came to my head that I've been wanting to share and keep forgetting to share, is that lately I've had this mindset, and it's from reading Discipline Equals Freedom, Jocko Willink, and his whole thing of like, if something mess up that you're in control of, it's your fault, change your mindset, blah, blah, blah. But instead of being like, I'm mad, or I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated, I have started saying, this is an irritating situation. This moment is irritating to me. Instead of, I am anger. I am frustration. I'm labeling myself.
Right. Remember we were talking about how I have some clients who suffer from depression or anxiety, and they say, I'm anxious, I'm depressed. Oh, hey, anxious, how are you today?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And of course they're like, what?
Yeah.
My name's, Debbie. My name's Karen, or whatever. And,
Little Debbie.
Right. But we begin to take on the identity of, I'm just a mad person.
Yeah. Well, and when the thing it shifts in my mind is it shifts it to ownership. This moment can be annoying, but I don't have to be annoyed right along with it.
Right.
And I'm not going to let this annoying moment steer my course, steer my ship in a direction that I don't want it to go. But if I just go, well, I'm annoyed, there I go, I'm mad, so now I have all the freedom in the world to do bad things, say mean things, be ugly, be rude, whatever that is. And I just think that tiny mind shift and saying, this moment is bothering me,
Right.
but I'll get through it well and I'll be fine, like that kind of almost kicking your own butt, a little bit of a pep talk to yourself, has helped me get through a lot of moments, especially homeschooling 3 children that are like wackadoodle kiddos. It's been really helpful for me to not sort of absorb the energy of that and then project it back out like tenfold. So that's something I wanted to say. And again, I want to say, do join our Instagram live. Pop over to Instagram if you're on Facebook or vice versa, whatever. Get to Instagram and request to be in our episode today. You can ask us anything you want as long as it's not weird and I don't get mad.
Right.
But I want to talk about this idea too of literally getting real with yourself and dropping the crap and dropping the BS that you tell yourself and the lies that you tell yourself and the ways that you talk yourself around or out of doing things you know you should do. Yeah.
So this means
Means Seth's got an idea.
Right. So here's a real-time example. # real talk.
Oh, okay.
Last night I wasn't feeling good. I just feeling, I don't know, like my upper
He's got
chest
something
feeling
going on.
feels just weird. I don't know, and it makes it it doesn't feel good, and I don't want to. I'm not super motivated to do other stuff, right? But I am in the very middle of day 18 of a 30-day challenge that is like the 75 card that Melanie is doing. 2 workouts, 1 gallon of water, all this other stuff, and I still had 1 workout to go and about, I don't know, a quart of water to drink.
Yeah.
And it was like 9 p.m., right? And I was sitting on the couch with the kids, literally about to fall asleep while I was reading, because I also have to read 10 pages a day. And I was literally this close, and I was justifying it.
Yeah.
I was saying, well, you know, it's just this, and I feel like crap. I was justifying it and saying, you know what? I don't think I'm just going to finish. I just accept that I'm not going to finish tonight, you know? And I was thinking that way and thinking that way and thinking that way. And then I said, well, I don't want to go out like that. Ed Milet talks about we gain self-confidence, we build self-confidence by doing the things that you say you were going to do. Because who was I breaking a promise to? Do you care if I quit last night? I mean, sure you care, and it would be disappointing, but you're going to think about it for like 2 seconds. I'm going to think about it over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
So I keep the promises that I make to myself, right? And I was this close justifying it. Oh, I'm not. But then I said, if I don't do this now, I am not going to restart. Because if I messed up last night, I'd have to go all the way back to day 1, and 18 days of progress would be gone, right? And I did it last night. It was not, well, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I did it, right? And then went to bed early, even though I felt like crap, even though I didn't want to do it, even though I was trying to justify it all day long. And this morning when I woke up, I was glad that I did it.
Yeah.
It built self-confidence. It's like it added a block of self-confidence to this larger tower that I'm trying to build, right? And I was absolutely glad that I did it. Was it the best, most hardest thing in the world? No, not really. It was simple, but I made the choice to do it. Lily's talking about, she's what did you say? You said, I'm actually just starting to drink a gallon of water a day. Yes, that's awesome.
Today.
It's hard at first. You're going to pee all the time, but you'll get it.
You got it. Just break it up into 5. I mean, I drink 5.5 of these Starbucks cups, and I have it marked on my gallon thing that I fill. So you got this.
Yeah, she has an alarm for it too. Yeah, personal growth is personal growth.
Well, and I want to
good.
comment on what you said. Like you're adding a brick to this tower that you want to build.
Right.
And the Rachel Hollis quote that I saw this morning on her Instagram actually was, the quality of your life is the quality of your habits. The quality of your life is the quality of your habits. Literally, that means the habit of how you speak to people.
Right.
The habit of how you speak to yourself. The habit of how you control or don't control your diet, your exercise, anything. You watching porn? That's not a quality habit. Don't do it. And the quality of your life is a reflection. It is, in fact, the quality of your habits.
Right.
And I got to thinking about, like, how simple is that? And we just don't even think of it that way. We don't think of how every little thing that we do is either confirming or like deconfirming that we are good or bad. We're either winners or losers.
That makes me think about how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
And when I heard that quote, I don't know, 3 years ago or so, I disagreed with it because, well, I did a good job here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's just a one instance. But how you do anything, if I don't make the bed in the morning, okay, for a million days straight, I'm probably not too worried about how clean my car is, right? And if I'm not worried about how clean my car is, I might not be worried about how I'm treating you. Or things like that, right?
Yeah.
So how you do anything is how you do everything. And there was another thing that I was going to say, but I don't remember. Okay,
okay.
You're the quality of your habits, right? If
Yes.
you're eating garbage, eating Doritos all the time, and this
Yeah.
is like, oh, I just grabbed Doritos at the gas station, on my way home from work. That's garbage.
Yeah.
That's a garbage habit, right?
Yeah.
So the easiest thing to do is don't eat garbage. Then you change your habit of eating garbage.
Yeah, and I think
That makes sense.
what's
Sorry, this is
awful about that is that people are like, well, I'm just ... fill in the blank. I'm just... Y'all don't want to look back and have a year full of I'm justs.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
good.
eating garbage. I'm just eating this taquito from whatever. I don't even know.
Just this once turns into how you do anything is how you do everything.
And it's like...
Because guess what? Then your everything is just this once.
And it's like in the Bible when the devil tempts Jesus when he's out in the wilderness and he says, bow down to me just this once.
He does?
Yes,
Oh.
he says just this once. And Joyce Meyer talks about that all the time. I'm not any Bible scholar. But Ben says, those mic logos are so official. Yes, they are. I'm going to show them to you. Look at that. This says Anatomy of Marriage podcast. My co-creator of the app gave these to us as a gift.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? Dan is
It is
amazing.
Okay, so, I like this. Ask yourself harder questions. What do you mean by that?
So, this is a really funny story. I was walking with my best friend yesterday. Not you, my other best friend. Pamela. She's my neighbor, and I adore her so much. We were walking, and we were talking, and I was saying, because I've been reading that book, The Family Ties That Bind.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things, a lot of personal insight I'm gaining
Family
from
of origin, all kinds
family
of
of origin, birth order, all these things, like how your parents related to each other, blah, blah, blah. So, one of the things that she and I were talking about is I realized from that book, because it asks you questions as you read it. I realized that I have some sort of weird family of origin issue. I don't know what I think it's maybe from being
I knew that.
the youngest in the family, where no matter what, and then this talks about like keeping homeostasis, trying to keep peace, all of that stuff, and it talks about we will try to maintain the level of peace in our current home that we had in our home we grew up in. The home I grew up in was fine, but it wasn't, I would not say, particularly peaceful. There was a lot of stuff going on, and not in like, my parents were wonderful. There was just lots of turmoil and drama in different ways. And so we didn't have a particular like calm and happy home. So I'm not used to calm and happy. Although I say I want calm and happy. See where I'm going? So I say I want these things, but then when it is calm and happy, guess what I do?
You create something.
I create something. I criticize you. I cut you down. Or, and you guys have seen this 10 billion times on the podcast, I for some reason want to beat Seth all the time. I want to win.
Would you
all
say
the
that you're
time.
competitive? Like you're
I'm
not
only competitive in that way.
Not with sports.
No, I'm not competitive in any other way.
So maybe that's your ego coming.
That's why I
out.
said lose your ego. And because I truly think my ego, which is another, like an acronym people use for edging God out. But I honestly think my ego is like somehow trying to make turmoil and make the stress level that I'm used to.
So you know how you have said before that sometimes people cause problems only to be the one to go in and fix the problems, to make you feel needed, to make you feel busy, to occupy your mind, and somehow prove to the other people involved, see, you did need me for that. But you created the whole situation.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? And that is exactly like
What I do.
me getting a knife or a big railroad stake and going outside, punching a hole in my tire, saying, Mel, come here. Oh no, geez, we have a flat tire. Oh man, what are we gonna do? You know what? I know what to do. I'm gonna take the tire off, take it to the tire place, fix it, and then come home and then show you what I did. Hey, come here and watch me put it back on.
Yeah.
Just to prove that I know how to take care of a tire, which I freaking put a hole in the first place.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
That's a great analogy. Yeah.
It does not make sense. So what are you guys doing like that? And this is a high level concept. I can't even think of like a way that we do things.
What do you mean we do things?
It's so weird. Like the family of origin piece, at least from, and it almost gets into like the philosophical stuff, like theoretical. Like I am super interested in the research and the psychosocial piece of it. And I like to know why people do what they do, and always think, you know what, there's a huge meta meaning behind this. And I remember I would talk to you about this stuff years ago, and you'd be like, you're making crap up. And I would say, no, it's real. It is there. It's kind of like the psychosomatic issues that we talked about a couple of episodes ago around, like, I can have stomach pains or weird headaches because I'm trying to take the
Interesting. Didn't you sleep in today from stomach pains and weird headaches?
So I'll be honest with you, that is something that I've been thinking about. Like, maybe I am feeling weird anxiety from being a therapist and having to talk to my clients' anxieties while I'm experiencing these same anxieties about COVID-19 and all this stuff. Sometimes it manifests itself in that way. So I've really been thinking, okay, is this something, is this, you know, these recent stomach aches that I've had, some sort of manifestation? I hope it's not, but if it is, then I have a duty to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and again, you can call into our show and request to be on our Instagram Live, and we'll ask your question. We're also going to answer a question at the end of the episode from our app, and we'll talk more about that in a minute.
Lily says, you guys are the best. Love listening to these live streams, podcasts. Thank you, Lily. Thank you for joining us most days.
You're the best.
And writing comments. Somebody says, preach from one therapist to another about dealing with COVID anxiety. Oh, so you're a therapist? That's awesome. Cool. I know, it is hard. We're all dealing with this same thing. Of course, obviously, we have different levels and tiers of resources to which we can use and utilize, but as a global thing, everybody is scared or has anxiety about, oh, well, I might have been exposed to it. I might get it, right?
Yeah, but I did want to kind of speak even more on the ask yourself harder questions piece, because I think that's where it starts. Like, the concept of it starts with you can seem so vague, and you're like, oh, cool, it starts with me. I don't know. Will you please stop checking your watch? I love you dearly, but
it buzzes.
You turn it off.
Sorry.
Turn the notifications off. That's respectful to our audience. But anyway, so it starts with you is not this like, think about yourself. That's not helpful.
Right.
Think about what you're doing that is either maladaptive, meaning I'm doing this to get attention because I don't know how to ask for the attention I want. Or, why do I keep sabotaging when we're happy? When we have a date night, why do I always fight every date night? When we have no kids at home, why do we always freak out and blow up on each other? There's reasons behind those things, and we'll never understand them or uncover them if we don't stop ourselves to ask questions, right?
And even be open to the possibility of, oh, this might be a thing. Oh, well, no, we don't have problems. It is weird that we just fight, you know, often when the kids aren't there, but actually accept the fact that it could be a possibility, and then just be open to it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be scared of it. Meet it head on.
And look at your habits, like that Rachel Hollis quote, the quality of your life is the quality of your habits. Examine your habits and ask yourself why you're doing them. So one of the things, I talked about this in a Marriage and Family Fridays, is when Seth was doing 75 Hard the first time, I would scroll through Pinterest and Amazon browse and look at Facebook for so many hours in the evening, and I thought it was like me time. I don't know what I thought, but it was like the dumbest waste of my time I can think of. And what it did was perpetuate a feeling of, I don't have the right thing, I don't have the innest color, I don't have the right backsplash in my kitchen, and I don't really know why I was doing it, but the fact that I thought about it long enough to ask myself, is this good or bad, was all I needed to go, oh, not helpful, cut it out, like stop doing it entirely, because it is draining literal hours from my week, and it is garbage. I don't need that.
So there's no harm in looking at Pinterest and
for 5
Facebook
minutes
and all that stuff. However, so what you're saying is it was out of balance, right? Like, I can find a favorite show on Netflix and binge watch it for 8 hours. Obviously, that's out of balance.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, you know what, I'm going to take 20 minutes a day or watch an episode or something, and it's earmarked in the schedule, then of course it's no problem for it. Hey, you know, usually around 8 p.m. I kind of look on Pinterest. You know, I give myself 30 minutes a day, and it's manageable, it's in balance, and it's fine.
Yeah.
That is no big deal whatsoever. So you're not condoning, like, don't waste time. But you used to be like that because, I don't know, there was some weird imbalance of anything that I was doing. Like, yo, let me chill for a minute. you didn't like it and said you could be doing that. That's what you said about 75 hard. Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You went through the hours and stuff, and 75 hard is 2 45-minute workouts. You were like, that's an hour and a half that you could be spending with the kids or with me or whatever. And I was like, you know what? It's important to invest in yourself. That's why they say put your own mask on an airplane, put your own oxygen mask, and then you can help people.
Yep.
And can you honestly answer right now, because I did 75 hard, because I stuck with it for 75 days, literally, is it better for me or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Is it better for you that I did it?
Absolutely.
Is it better for the kids that I did it?
Yes.
Yes, right? So in the early stages of that, because it was a different thing, right? So you push back, kind of like the rubber fence idea in family therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, you push back. Seth's doing something that doesn't make sense to me. This is
it's not in my family
is loony,
origin.
and it's like, hardcore workout stuff, which
Yeah.
you never did before. You weren't in that area, right? You pushed back on it, but then you became open to it. So that was a real growth period for you. And I think because I did it first, that enabled you to see a difference in it. Oh, this is real. This is good. And then you did it too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I think is interesting.
I'm not saying I did it. You better thank me because
fine,
you
you
can do
win.
it. I'm better.
When you stopped doing it was when I realized how much I actually liked it.
Right.
And it was when it went away where I went, whoa, wait a minute. The intention, the intensity, the clarity of that being gone feels awful. And I really wanted it back. And so that's what I think is so interesting to me is that I hated it when you were doing it. I was mean to you about it when we were doing it at the beginning. And then eventually I became accustomed to the routine. And then I said, no, I'm going to do this. I want to do this.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Okay. Our friend from Texas. What's up, my man? Somebody, he says, my request, speak to tips for couples who are very service driven. My wife works for a church. I'm in public safety. We're both super involved with various things, and now a nonprofit.
Ministries, and now
We're tired. I'd love to hear how you balance all your similar service-driven lives. Okay.
I think immediately the first thing is boundaries, but not. People hear that word and they think boundaries. Don't tell me what not to do, and that's not what I mean. Getting a 30,000 foot view and looking down, and if your day is a pie, how much of that pie is service? Is it 75% of that pie? Is it 3/4 of that whole pie? Is just you doing something? No, I know that. I wasn't saying it was a different number, dingus. But if like the majority of your pie is I'm not at home, I'm not with my wife, I'm not working on myself, I'm not serving my family, you might want to really evaluate that. And also, do you do service stuff together? That's a different thing. If you're like, we do this together. So us doing our show is its own, we are having together time. But at the same exact time, we also need to be making boundaries around when do we stop doing this and when do we start just being a married couple.
So in the early days of my career as a marriage and family therapist, it was really out of balance because I would literally wake up at 4 a.m. and start writing stuff, research articles, all this stuff, and then go and see clients, do home visits, all this stuff, and usually not get back home until 6:30, right? I'd be gone all the time. And the idea of, I was serving people and helping people out and doing this good work and all that stuff. So that was my justification for being gone all the time. Hey, I'm helping other people out. And I think so many people, young couples especially, think that way. I'm doing good. Well, if you burn out, then you're not going to be any good to anybody. And you're going to burn bridges with your wife, with your spouse. So what does it look like in real balanced perspective? Are you saying yes to too many things because you're a number 9 on the Enneagram? Oh, guess what? I did, and I sometimes do if I don't keep that in check. And that is not a thing. It's okay to say no. Let's see, what book am I thinking about? Boundaries by Dr. Henry McLeod.
Henry Cloud.
That is an excellent book that might help you, Ben, in answering this question for yourself. Because, you're doing good work, and oftentimes we think, I'm doing good work, I'm going to do as much as I can and run at 100 miles an hour all the time, but you're not really doing anything. There's this other saying, what is it? Slow is fast. No.
We should have music for every time you do this.
Yeah, I know. But it talks about, we think, oh yeah, we're going to go fast and fix it. But think about a car or anything you're trying to fix. If you try to fix something and put it together with duct tape and glue, then, 2 miles down the road, it's going to fall apart. So it's way better for me to take an hour and fix it right, weld the part back together or bolt it strongly, and then it's going to go. So it's like slow is fast and fast is...
Slow.
No, slow is fast and fast is good, or something like that. It's like, take your time to do it. So
just do it right.
Do right on your... No, that's so ambiguous. Do right.
It is very ambiguous. But I would also say, ask yourself why you are serving so much if it's out of balance. Because I know for sure when I started audio engineering and I was learning how to do it, I would say yes to every opportunity. And there was a big part of me that was saying yes because I felt really special.
But that was a season, though. But so that's a season.
It had an end goal, but it's just something to note. If it is like really messing up your family, ask yourself why you're doing it so much. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad at all. But thank you for the question. And I want to, let's see, is there any other thing you want to talk about It Starts With You before we dive into our question?
It's been the longest live ever. Okay, we need to wrap it up.
Someone was trying to think of a quote for 10 minutes. So, so now we're going to ask our Get Your Marriage On question of the day. And this is from our app called Get Your Marriage On, soon to be Anatomy of Marriage app. I'm super, super excited about it. If you haven't checked it out, you can go to getyourmarriageon.com to download it or get it from our website at anatomyofmarriage.com. And we actually have a Q&A section within the app where you can ask questions and get them answered by the community and experts within the app. So it's a really cool opportunity, and one of the questions that we got is letting go of the past and moving forward. And it says, I want my husband to know that the past is behind us and we can recover. How do I let him know that? I'm here for him. I want my husband to understand that I'm not here to judge him or what's gone on in the past. How is the best way? Oh my gosh, my computer just shut down as I was reading it. Come on now. How is the best way to support him and show him that I care?
Okay.
So thank you for sending that question.
This is a great question. I would like to know, as a therapist, more background information. Was there something that was done that broke trust on either part? And the first thing that comes to my mind is, was there flirting around? Was there some sort of infidelity going on? And if it was the husband that did it, then he may be judging himself.
Yeah.
And if we're judging ourselves, then it is really super hard for me to take Melanie's non-judgment of me and say that you actually accept me. It's hard for me to believe that if I don't believe it for myself. You understand? Or if it was opposite, if there was some messing around or infidelity
on the wife's
that
part?
the wife was doing, then okay, when trust is broken, you cannot, you can do anything but rush the building of trust. Anything but that, right? So rebuilding that trust comes with consistency, allowing the other person to feel completely what they're feeling, and let them have that peace. And you almost have to, if you really messed up, you really have to you have to prepare your mind to bear the brunt of things. Does that make sense? Now there can be cases like, okay, yeah, this has just gone to maladaptive world where the other person is just blaming me for everything and tripping on everything. It's like, okay, this is unhealthy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think the image that always comes to my mind when we talk about trust is that it's like a bridge between two people, right? And so like there's Seth, there's me, and then trust is that the bridge between, sorry, his phone got low batteries. So trust is the bridge between us, right? And when it's broken, it's completely gone. And like in the real world, when someone builds a bridge from one island to another island, there's a bunch of things that have to happen. You don't just like hot glue it up and be like, okay, drive across.
Right.
Like that won't work. You cannot rush the building of trust. And I want to put the idea out, like a bridge doesn't care if you're like, I promise, I won't fall. The bridge doesn't care. It's only when it's able to be crossed safely 1 million times, a year, 2 million times, whatever, that you go, oh, I trust that bridge.
Right.
It is the evidence of not falling is what we trust, not the fact that the bridge whispered in my ear that it won't fall. I don't care what it says. I care what it does.
Yeah, I think trust eventually turns into something mental, but to build that trust is action.
Yes, it's every day. It's literally the quality of your life is the quality of your habits. If you habitually harm your partner, they will never get trust for you. But at the same exact time, repeating like, you need to trust me, or I can trust you, like that's not helpful. Just be trustworthy. Do it. Be in the process of doing it and doing it well. And don't fall for the trap that you need to like constantly remind your partner, I forgive you. I forgive you for the thing that you did. All you're doing is bringing it up every single time. So move out of that phase. Like, take the die to self. That old version of you dies. That old version of your marriage just dies, and you're building a new one now. Right? You're building a totally new bridge. Nobody takes a broken bridge and says, with the pieces, let's build the new one.
Right.
No, they go, we're going to build a new
we
bridge.
talked about yesterday or on the upcoming show, dropping on Wednesday. Start fresh. Sometimes you have to start fresh.
Within your marriage.
Clean up all that stuff. So, okay, guys, if you liked anything we said, give us a heart, give us a like there. Thank you for joining us again. It is Friday. Usually these AOM radios are in the mornings, Monday through Friday. Sometimes there's little tweaks in that, and that's okay. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, email hello@anatomyofmarriage.com. Thanks, Miss Mindful Me. And remember to go to audibletrial.com/anatomy and marriage. You get a free book, and that also helps us. You get a free audiobook, and that also helps us. So we both win, right?
Yeah.
You get free stuff, we get a kickback from that.
You can get Boundaries by Henry Cloud. That's an audiobook. You can get The Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. That's an amazing audiobook. So yeah, go check those out. And please rate and review. Leave a review. Leave a review on our podcast. I'm so sick of that one. But we love you guys. Thank you so much. And we will see you soon. And you can catch our live at 3 o'clock in 30 minutes if you need to. So, all right.
Thanks.
We love you guys.
Thanks,
See you
Ben.
later.
No, leave it.
Oh,
Stop
gosh.
that.
You
All
always...
right, bye.
I have to get used to that.
Yeah, you don't have to stop this. You got to stop that. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys. Have a good weekend. Maybe we'll do something tomorrow. I don't know. It's Saturday, so we
It's
chill.
not Saturday. Oh, tomorrow's
Saturday.
I said
All right.
Saturday today.
Bye, guys. What's up, Paul? Dude, you came right at the end, bro.
Better.
Let's see.
I
we'll
just
finish